The centennial of an organization happens, well, only once actually. So when the American Soybean Association approached its 100th year in 2020, ASA knew they had one shot to make the year-long celebration a memorable one. And boy, did they. The celebration of ASA's first soy century kicked off in December 2019 at the ASA board meeting in St. Louis, where ASA farmer leaders got a glimpse of what was in store during 2020. A special 100th anniversary website served as the repository for all things related to the first soy century, from historical facts and photographs to informational videos to family farm profiles submitted by ASA members. Branded wearables through Land's End could also be ordered through the website. Over the course of the year, ASA took this rare opportunity to interview 22 former ASA presidents on camera as they shared their memories of their year as president, their thoughts on the importance of ASA to U.S. soybean farmers, and personal insights on why farming matters to them. In addition to the former presidents, ASA also captured interviews with policymakers, soybean industry partners, and other soybean stakeholders who have been great partners with ASA over the years. Other videos highlighted ASA leadership on key issues throughout the years, such as trade, biodiesel, and biotechnology. These videos, along with historical factoids and other centennial information, were also shared throughout the year via ASA's social media channels. The 2020 Commodity Classic in San Antonio, Texas was the real coming out party for the first soy century celebration. ASA doubled the size of its exhibit space on the trade show floor to create a multi-dimensional experience that attracted thousands of attendees throughout the three-day event. Timeline graphics illustrated key milestones in ASA's 100-year history, while other graphic panels shared ASA's history with its state affiliates, major issues that ASA continues to address, as well as featuring the 80 soybean farmers who served as ASA president over the past century. Soy cookies and smoothies were a popular attraction, and a photo booth provided an opportunity to preserve memories of the occasion. Artifacts spanning the century were on display and provided a glimpse into the progress ASA has made since 1920. A commemorative book, researched and written by ASA's Jill Wagenblast, was provided at no charge in the booth. The book documents the first soy century in great detail, the history, the achievements, and the farmer leaders whose talent and vision have guided ASA since 1920. A true highlight at Commodity Classic was the reunion reception for 25 former ASA presidents. It was frankly amazing to stand back and watch these farmer leaders reconnect and, in some cases, meet for the first time. The presidents in attendance represented nearly a 40-year span in leadership, and some hadn't seen each other in at least a decade. But the camaraderie, respect, and common bond they all felt was unmistakable and profound. The annual ASA Awards banquet at the 2020 Commodity Classic was anything but ordinary. The first clue was an award-winning animated video of the Fouts brothers that opened the show.
So let's get this party started.
You know, I was the first association president, right?
Yeah, we know.
As Finus was trying to say, let's get this party started. See you later.
Add to that, ASA 100th Anniversary Committee members serving as hosts and interviewers. The use of various locations throughout the venue to keep things interesting and engaging. And a stand-up comedian who popped on and off stage throughout the evening to bring laughs to the audience with his unique take on life, including his humorous, self-professed lack of agriculture knowledge.
So I asked this guy, I go, what do you farm? And he said, beans. And I said, like green beans? Or it was soybeans. I didn't know. Green beans, that's not that ridiculous of an answer. That's a real food. I've eaten them before. I didn't say jelly beans, okay?
The banquet also featured the premiere of 2 videos that documented the first 50 years and second 50 years of ASA's history and achievements. A high point during the evening was a segment featuring 25 ASA presidents on stage at once, a scene not likely to be repeated for quite some time. It all added up to an energetic, enthusiastic, and entertaining evening for the more than 900 guests in attendance. The summer issue of American Soybean magazine was devoted to the first soy century. with a wide range of articles covering 100 years of history, memories, personalities, policy achievements, and anecdotes. In August, ASA returned to its roots, the Fouts Soyland Farm in Camden, Indiana, where ASA was founded in 1920 by brothers Taylor, Noah, and Finis Fouts. While the COVID-19 pandemic put a limit on the crowd, some 250 people were on hand to celebrate. ASA worked with the Indiana Soybean Alliance to obtain approval for an Indiana state historical marker designating Fouts Soyland Farm as the birthplace of ASA. Antique farm equipment dating back to 1920 was on display, as were plots growing 16 heirloom soybean varieties. Members of the Fouts family gathered for a bit of a reunion as well, as attendees browsed through the displays of Fouts family history and ASA history highlights. Guest speakers included Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb, members of the Fouts family, the Dean of Agriculture at Purdue University, ASA and Indiana soybean leaders, and Steve Sensky, Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Agriculture and former CEO of ASA. The event, which was streamed live, closed with a special presentation of an historic soybean song, which was performed at the first ASA event in 1920 and recreated by 4 present-day soy leaders in a remote recording session as they sang their parts from their own farms.
Soybeans, oh soybeans, soybeans, oh soybeans, we are growing soybeans to get along. Soybeans, oh soybeans, soybeans, oh soybeans, we are growing soybeans to get along.
Unfortunately, COVID-19 caused ASA to cancel the Next Soy Century Symposium, scheduled for the following day on the campus of Purdue University. Also canceled due to COVID-19 was an ASA anniversary celebration that had been scheduled for July in Washington, D.C. at the National Museum of American History. From the Fouts brothers' Indiana farmstead to today's pivotal role as the leading voice for U.S. soybean farmers, the American Soybean Association has a long and proud history of leadership, achievement, and vision. The year-long First Soy Century celebration during 2020 was a fitting tribute to the American Soybean Association and the soybean farmer leaders who over 100 years helped build the soybean industry into the #2 crop in the United States and have built ASA into the respected and effective policy powerhouse it is today. Former ASA President Tony Anderson summed it up well when he said,
"The American Soybean Association isn't relevant because it's old. It's old because it's relevant."
Thank you to the many farmers and leaders from ASA and the state affiliates who have helped us celebrate the 100th anniversary of the American Soybean Association.